Welcome to the Sports Daily Early Look, and we're looking forward to Saturday, a $500,000 Tab Touch Placid Ark Stakes for the 3-year-olds over 1,200 metres. And I'm Taylor Courtland, welcoming Digby Beacham. It's a mouth-watering clash, Diggers.
It is, TC. A very good morning to you. It's the second year that we get to see 500,000 up for grabs, and we saw My Bella May win this race last year when she was sweeping all before her. And we talk about a horse like Oscar's Fortune, who can't be doing any more than he's done to this point. He's 4 from 4, and if he is to win this race, we might be celebrating a new star of WA racing.
Absolutely. He's at the top of your market at time of recording with Tab Touch, $2.60 Oscar's Fortune. Almighty Class into $4, Augment $6, Hanchy at $7. It's double figures and up. The remainder of the field, as you can imagine, there's $500,000 on the line, Digby. There's a big field. It's over 1,200 metres at Ascot. There's going to be speed. The speed map, Oscar's Fortune, he's going to push forward. We know where he races best. I thought Almighty Class and Augment, they'd probably settle midfield, maybe just a touch forward of midfield. Unfortunately, from the barrier draw, the big loser, is Hanchy. He's drawn wide. He's going to need some luck. He's probably, at best, maybe midfield 3 wide with cover.
He's going to need a bum to follow, isn't he, Hanchy? Chris Parnham to ride again. The first up effort behind Oscar's Fortune was terrific, and off that, there was some support for Hanchy, thinking he's got some improvement to come, given he was fresh and Oscar's is deep into his campaign. But there's speed outside. There's speed drawn low as well. All things being equal, with the speed in which Oscar's Fortune leaves the barriers, you would think he's able to cross them and hit the rail. He'll have Chrisanova, who is going to jump from barrier 10. She's going to be his outside, you would think. And Oscar's at this stage appeals to most as a horse, even though he's yet to be tried over the 6 furlongs, as being perhaps stronger at the back end of 1,200 than Chrisanova.
A lot of banter, drawn low. Lord Lala also drawn low, and inside Oscar's Fortune is playing game. So they're 3 horses that have also shown speed in their races. So there's plenty of top-end tempo, but we'll kick off our look through the form with Oscar's Fortune, who, as you mentioned, is undefeated and couldn't do much more up to this point.
Yeah, and his most recent run a few weeks ago now, it was when he was unable to find the fence. We've seen him at his previous 3 runs, his first 3 runs in his career. He's jumped, he's found the rail, and from there that's guided him around. There the other day he didn't get the rail because of Chrisanova drawing to his inside and showing her customary gate speed. But he did a pretty good job, and William Pike was adamant post-race that the 1,200 metres of the Placid Ark was going to be no issue whatsoever, and you need to take William on his word.
Playing devils a little bit, if there is a little bit of a knock, his campaign's been a long one to this point.
Yeah, it exactly has. There's no question about that. And the other thing with this horse, he's not the finished article yet. He can still be a bit raw. He can do a few things wrong, either in the mounting enclosure or behind the gates. We've seen him get sent back to trials. I think he had 3 trials before he made his race track debut. So this is start 5 on Saturday. He has been in work a long time. He is only running over 1,000 metres as opposed to an increased distance. So you're not sort of getting to the bottom of him, but you would be thinking he's far closer to the end of his campaign than he is the start.
On the opposite end of the scale, I think Almighty Class come Saturday will be absolutely peaking. Steps up to the 1,200 metres again like he did last start in the Belgravia Stakes, where he was nosed out by Super Smink in a slowly run Belgravia Stakes. My thinking going into the race is going to be much better suited in a 1,200 metres race with this sort of tempo. Hopefully he's going to be able to settle. He didn't do that last start.
No.
But over the 1,000 metres, we saw what sort of turn of foot he has when he is able to be coiled up and then let go.
Exactly right. And the instructions to Jared Noski aboard Almighty Class will be to get some cover. If he gets cover, and as you said, then he presses the button. We saw what he was able to do in the Max Simmons. It was electric. It really, really was. Now, that was 1,000. This is 1,200. So, yes, he has to rise the extra 200 metres. But if he gets a smother and Jared gets him in a clear air at the appropriate time, he is going to make sure that Oscar's Fortune stretches his neck.
Augment on the third line of betting for Simon Miller. She's absolutely flying. She has form lines all around Super Smink at the 1,200 metres. She's drawn a beautiful alley. Ticks a lot of boxes as well.
Yeah, she does, and you can understand why she's on the third line of betting as we see here this morning at $6. I thought the other day she had her opportunity to get past Almighty Class. She only just missed, admittedly, but she was smothered up in behind. She got out with ample time, I thought, to get past him, and he was a little bit keen in the run. She wasn't able to do so, but we know that she is a stakes grade filly. We know that she's a high class filly.
We've mentioned from a point a map point of view, a lot of things are going to have to go right for Hanchy to win, but his first up return behind Oscar's Fortune was really good.
Yeah, exactly right, and he brings good form lines from a 2-year-old perspective also around to a race like this. So again, we talk about some of these 2-year-olds in winter, you go, I'm not entirely sure. I can be comfortable with what Hanchy did as a juvenile, and certainly what he did fresh, that he is going to make his presence felt. He's just going to need some good luck.
Yeah, absolutely he is. There's another horse that we haven't mentioned just yet at double figures that you'd like to make a case for?
Yeah, I think Petula's going really, really well. A stablemate of Augment. Now, everything went wrong in the Max Simmons. She ran fourth on that occasion. She was slow to step. She didn't get a lot of clear air in the straight, but the manner in which she got to the line over the last 100 metres prompted many people to think she was a chance in the Belgravia. Brad Parnham sort of had a sniff for the front. He went back, and then from there she was always at a disadvantage through no fault of Brad's. It's just the way that the race panned out. She was only beaten 2.5. I just think from a more economical barrier on the weekend, she'll be 1 out, 2, 3 back. She'll be midfield, maybe just forward of midfield. Off what we've seen at her 2 runs to date, I think she's going better than a $17 pop.
Are there any other runners that you can make a winning case for? I thought I could for Ripcord, but then the barriers came out, and that's a sticky map.
Yeah, it is. It's a sticky gate for a very nice horse in Ripcord. Chrisanova, look, she's going to be, in all likelihood, second turning for home. If Oscars does something wrong and she finds the fence, who knows? I just have a query on her at 1,200, and I think a lot of people do, but I'd love to see her run a strong 6 furlongs.
If I was to give you $100, how would we spend it in the Tab Touch Placid Ark Stakes?
I think the market's bang on with Oscar's Fortune, who's been a little bit easy. He's around 260. There's been good money for Almighty Class post the barrier draw into $4. I acknowledge they're the two that are in all likelihood going to be very, very difficult to get past. But I'm thinking Petula, just at a big quote. I think the $17 is overs for a filly who has matched motors with some decent ones, and she's capable of peeling off some pretty serious fractions. So I'll have 50 each way on Petula at $17.
I'll keep it pretty simple. $100 on Almighty Class. I just can't get that turn of foot out of my head that he showed over the 1,000 metres, and I think it's going to be a strongly run 1,200. He's going to be cuddled away and then hopefully be able to explode into clear air. So $100 on Almighty Class for me, and I'll be doing that with Tab Touch, and as always, doing it responsibly.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.